Houston and Louisiana, two unlikely opponents in the Radiance Technology Independence Bowl, 3 p.m. on ESPN. You can find this on Friday afternoon. Should be a very interesting watch considering the cold streak, the Arctic blast that's moving through really the majority of the United States. It's not hitting the southern United States quite as much as it is the Midwest, but it's still going to be miserably cold here in the South. And I tell you what, these are two teams in Houston and Louisiana who are not used to those cold temperatures. Uh, Garrett, really interesting how this bowl game came about. Army was supposed to have the slot that Louisiana has, but they didn't qualify for it. And so you've got kind of a hodgepodge matchup here. Houston, they had just a rough start to the season, kind of came on strong towards the end of it. Louisiana, they're still adjusting in that first year post Billy Napier. Take me inside this bowl matchup. Houston wins over Louisiana if.
I think this game comes down to one player, and that's Clayton Tune. I think if he is the guy, if he can be that guy who he's been all season long, they're going to win. The big problem for him is that right now it's forecasted to be a 26-degree high temperature in Shreveport with a low of 16, and there should be some wind. And so that's going to mess with the quarterback's ability to grip the ball, to be able to throw, make decisions, kind of like what we were talking about with the Baylor and the Air Force preview. He's been fantastic this year, though, right? 3,800 plus yards, 67% completions, 37 touchdowns. That's a remarkable line. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your expectations were. That's a great line. This is a team that is absolutely underperformed this year. But with that being said, if Clayton Tune can be that guy, it doesn't matter what the people around him are doing. We've seen what this offense can be. They can score with the best of them. The problem is their defense is really, really bad. It's unreliable at best. They give up 430 yards per game. Fortunately, their offense is doing a lot better than that. I think their number is 436 yards per game, and the 13th best scoring offense is the big highlight there. So, um, uh, look, is it ideal for them to have that bad of a defense? Obviously not. But Clayton Tune can score to give your defense, whatever leeway it needs to make mistakes. If he can't score, though, things could get real ugly for the Cougars. So you're going to need him to step up and be the guy he's been all year, distribute the football, and ultimately bring home that trophy for you and your team.
For Louisiana, I think it has to start with just not elite quarterback play because you have a really good running game with Chris Smith and Terrence Williams, but just competent quarterback play. You mentioned the struggling Houston defense. Don't bail them out with a bad decision. Don't bail them out with a fluke interception or a defensive touchdown or a fumble in your own territory. Just be competent on offense. Stick to what you know best. Run the football. Establish the run. And the fact is, if Clayton Tune's on for Houston, this might not be a close game, right? I think Houston has the clear talent advantage. They definitely have the clear quarterback advantage. But if he's off a little bit, your formula becomes to eat clock and just control that ball. And the offense has been kind of lackluster. So you're really just looking for them to be able to put up 24 to 28 points and hope that your defense can kind of rely on the cold, rely on pressuring Clayton Tune, make him have a bad night. That's a tall task. Louisiana's been a little bit inconsistent. They're still trying to find their footing under the post Billy Napier era. But listen, I think that they'll definitely be coming out ready to play in front of a probably whatever crowd is in Shreveport is probably going to be decidedly favoring Louisiana. And yeah, I mean, they definitely have a shot if they can muddle things up on defense for Clayton Tune and just stick to what they do best, which is run the football on offense.
Tell you what, I do think that this is going to be some sort of low scoring affair with the weather and potentially just an uphill climb to throw this football. I think Houston finds a way to win it, but guys, this has the feel of like a really, really ugly, everyone wants to go home 8 minutes into the first quarter type of game. So, with that being said, I'm going to take Houston. I'm going to say Houston wins some just defensive sloppy bloodbath. Like, let's go 17-9 Houston
Oh.
over Louisiana.
All right. I'm going to go with the Cougs as well. I think they put up a little bit more on offense. I'll go 24 to 13 Houston.
I'm going to flip this script a little bit. I think Houston wins, but I don't think this game is particularly close. I think they're going to kind of run Louisiana out of the stadium. Give me something like Houston 38 and Louisiana 21. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I think, yeah, it's going to be cold and it'll be tough for Clayton Tune to, do what he does, but I think ultimately he will. This is a good defense, but not an elite defense for Louisiana. And I don't see a way where they can keep up with them in any way, shape, or form on the scoring side. Find me a sloppy play, find me a pick somewhere, and a bunch of points for Cougar.
This might be a Sickos Committee special given the opponents and the weather. So if you like unique things, weird oddities happening in college football, tune in Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. to watch Houston and Louisiana play for the Independence Bowl title.
Gracious, how about